Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is going on, family? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on tonight's conversation, we are joined by Bri Woodson, former Democratic candidate for Georgia's 12th Congressional District and the youngest ever to seek Congress in Georgia. Many also know her online as the controversial blonde, where she builds a large following by tackling politics, culture, and social issues head on. Now, since her congressional campaign, Bri has continued her activism through initiatives like the recently announced 1,000 Miles to Memphis March and the Deconstruction Institute, both aim at expanding civic engagement and sparking conversations about voting rights and political participation. Now, tonight, we'll discuss her journey from candidate to activist, the future of the Democratic Party, and the role of social media in modern politics, and whether movements like hers, can bridge across today's deeply divided political landscape. Y'all, let me tell you something. I am a huge fan of Miss Woodson. I've been following her for a minute, and let me tell you something. She don't play. She don't play when it comes to issues in regards. She is not scared to share her opinion, and that's what we need. We need more to continue to speak truth to power. And I'm also a big fan because I've been told I'm a little ageist when it comes to those that serve in office, whether it's Congress, Senate. And look, I'm not ageist. All I'm saying is we need more young people and more fresh new voices. Because I'm sorry, I get tired of seeing these old ass folks. And look, I'm sorry. Look, a lot of them I have respect. They've been doing great stuff. But I'm sorry when I hear about 85-year-old such and such is running for re-election, or 88-year-old such and such was rolled in to turn in their re-election papers. I'm not a fan of that. So, and I also think that continues to push folks away from even voting or politics in general, because they're like, how can they relate? They've been in office for so long. And it's interesting because I was looking at an old clip of, you got the big U.S. Senate race happening in Maine, and Susan Collins, there's a tape showing that she was going to be, she didn't want to be like a repeat politician. Like, she didn't want to be a career politician in a sense, maybe a term or two, because again, Senate is 6-year terms. Now this lady, she's 73 right now. I think this might be her. She's been in office for some time, for a long time. And it's funny because she's not the only one. I'm not just going after Susan Collins. It's been a ton of folks that says, well, I think I'm gonna do, maybe just a term or two. Yeah, that's about right. And now it's like they're 88. I still got more to give. The job is not done, and this and the other. I'm like, what in the world is happening, y'all? So again, I'm a big fan of Miss Woodson, Bri Woodson. And just so you can know a little bit about Bri Woodson, I went on her social media, and look, here's a clip right here. Again, her in action.
Y'all remember Tory Branham, the woman who called ICE on the Hyundai plant here in Georgia, also the woman who ran on the Republican side of the congressional race that I ran on. She's still causing a problem. She's still a racist bigot, surprise, surprise. But this time she's targeting a Muslim teacher who was hired in Gwinnett County, a county that is like 4 or 5 hours away from where she lives. So nothing to do with her. She's trying to force a school board to do this insane amount of background work that would literally cost the school thousands when they've done the preliminaries already. She just wants extra done because she calls herself a Muslim or anti-Muslim activist, whatever that means. She calls herself an anti-Muslim activist, but let me be very clear. You cannot be anti-something and activist in the same sentence. What you are, Tory, is just a bigot. There's no need to make up new terms for it. B-I-G-O-T, bigot. That is what you are. Point blank, period. be proud of it. Her family members know.
Okay, look, she was going in. I'm sorry. Look, that was rough. That was rough right there. She said she spelled the word, and then she said you can't be anti and act and say see. And I'm just so hyped, y'all. I'm so hyped. You can tell I'm fanning out over here because, like I said, I follow her on social media, and I'm thrilled to have her on. Before we do bring on our very special guest, though, of course, I got to thank y'all those who continue to support the Arrington Gavin Show. As you know, we drop new episodes weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms. We're really all podcast platforms, not just major ones, but all podcast platforms. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, just to name a few. You can also check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. Okay, so you can download the app. It's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. We're also available on X at AG Show Live, and check out our awesome website www.theagshow.com. You can stay up to date on the recent shows. You can also contact me as well. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, do me a favor, subscribe, man. It keeps you up to speed on when we have new content videos on. We also want to continue to grow our audience as well. And so if you know some folks that, enjoy great conversation, then you need to pass them on to the Arrington Gavin Show YouTube channel. Share with friends and family. I truly appreciate that. Oh, man. Besides all that, y'all, I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. I've been trying to make it out here in this heat here in Virginia, right? Because, I'm in the Commonwealth state of Virginia. It is in the hundreds. Now, I can't talk because, look, Bri is in Georgia. Okay, so I know the heat's a little different. Okay. Today was around like 90 something, but see, we're so humid over here. Like we have a humid heat where it just feels like it's just hell all day, every day. And I've yet cooled down. I mean, I probably look like I'm sweating right now. And trust me, I'm probably am. But no, I've been trying to keep up with this heat. And then obviously it is midterm season. We have local races happening in my area as well. Probably you have the same in yours. So it's a lot happening. It's a lot happening, y'all. And but hey, I always look forward to talking with you all, my friends, especially when I have the opportunity to bring on great guests like Bri Woodson. So again, my friends, you're going to be in for a treat later today. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
We
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
6'10", number one pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolved. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care. All right, family, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, I'm thrilled because we have a very special guest. We have someone who I've been following when she was running for office, as well as just, again, when it comes to, I consider like, political influencers, but through social media, right? Because I've had on my good friend Kate Powell, aka Kate for the People. I've had on my good friend Miss Amanda Nelson, aka Amanda's Mild Takes, and now I'm honored to have on the controversial blonde Bri Woodson. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on our special guest. Bri, how are you, my friend?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule, because look, you are everywhere. Look, you were in DC at one point. Now you're in Georgia. You're traveling. You're doing so much, but for the greater good. So I truly do appreciate you taking the time and coming here for a conversation. Our listeners and viewers appreciate it. And again, I'm just thrilled to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm super, super excited.
Awesome. Well, look, I mentioned a little bit about you, the controversial blonde. You were a former congressional candidate, but for those who don't know, those who don't know Bri Woodson beyond, outside of the social media, field, if you don't mind sharing just a little bit about you and kind of what led to your, just the passion and the pursuit of activism work, political activism work.
Yeah. Well, there's a few different ways we can answer this, right? But I guess we'll answer how I started. I've always been a very radical person, like even as a child. I unfortunately experienced racism from a very young age, growing up in small southern towns between South Carolina and Georgia, and that just changes the outlook on the world, right? I had parents who were very serious about educating me and my sister, and educating us in particular on our history, because it's not represented properly in schools, as we all know. So, just fast forward over the years, I've always been this way. Always. I'm going to say the thing. I'm going to say the hard thing. I'm going to say probably offensive thing, but it's going to be correct. And so fast forward these years back to 2025. I did not set out to be a content creator. There was never a moment in my life where I sat down and was like, you know what? I'm just going to start posting TikTok videos and make this a thing. That was not the case. It was last January, I was scrolling my For You page and I saw this girl talking about how she voted for Trump and now she's scared. And the only reason she voted for him is because everybody around her voted for him and she didn't do her own research. And we could roast her if we wanted to, is what she said at the end of the video. So I made a response video. I said, did y'all see the video of the girl talking about how she's scared because she voted for Trump and now we can roast her? But, it wasn't enough that marginalized group were saying this. It wasn't enough that people of color were saying this the entire time. So I said, so here's your roasting girl. Fuck you. And I posted it. No hashtags, nothing. And before that, my username was like Keys and Care with Bri. I had like 200 followers, nothing crazy at all. Posted that video for 1 million views on it. I was like, wow, what did I do? And so simultaneously, I've always been creative with my hair. Typically, my hair color changes every couple months. It just so happened, I was on a blonde cycle, right? MAGA was so disturbed, me being a Black woman with blonde hair talking about their leader. They lost their minds. They lost their minds. And so they thought they were going to bully me out of hair. No. So I changed my username to the controversial blonde, and it's now an entire brand. So thanks, MAGA.
I mean, it's just it's so much that I can like dissect from that, because as you mentioned, you have always been someone who spoke your mind, right? Were you say that's how you were just raised? Like, was your family, like, you could say, folks that said, no, if you see something wrong, say something. If you see, that's not right, was right. Was that something that was like installed in you as a young kid?
Yeah. Just especially with my father. My last name obviously is Woodson. I'm a direct descendant of Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history. And so growing up with that knowledge of my lineage and the father that I have, it was never an option. You stand up for what's right. You stand up for yourself. You don't let people take advantage of you. You don't let people be racist towards you without saying something. If you see something, say something. I was very, very much raised in that scope.
And I see, to me, I feel like that's so important, because as you mentioned, you were raised in a southern, small town. I was raised in Virginia, but I was a private school kid, so I was the minority, and I was in spaces where I can, and it's sad, because like at that time, it didn't dawn on me at one point until like a few years passed. I'm like, what the hell? That was not a cool thing. Like, of course, you always hear, oh, Arrington, you sound white. Stop talking white. I'm like, I could have easily say like, wait, hold up. What is black sounding? And that's
right.
Go ahead.
That's my favorite thing to say to me, and I'm like, what is it? I'm sorry. I enunciate my words. I don't know what you think. My favorite thing though is when white people say that in particular. I act, oh, I talk well. I sound really smart, as opposed to what?
You're very articulate. You're very articulate. Yeah. I'm like, why is that a shocker? Yeah.
Right. As opposed to what? What did you expect? What did you expect me to sound like? Do an impression for me.
I'll wait. I got time.
No, my thing is, I got to be uncomfortable. Not everybody's going to be uncomfortable.
And you know what? Being uncomfortable, I think, is so important that folks don't realize that, we mentioned MAGA, we mentioned Trump. Like, the reason why I always say, hey, well, one of the reasons he won was the fact that there were so many folks that was hiding and said, oh, wow, he can say this. And finally, we found our fearless leader. Because let's be honest, like, this man doesn't know jack shit about anything he does. Everything he touches turns to shit, right? Not gold, as much as he puts gold in the freaking room. Everything turns to shit. I mean, I'll be honest, and it's just
gaudy.
It's disgusting, and
it's so
for
ugly.
me, I told folks from the get-go. So I was raised in I'll say old school, a conservative Democratic household, right? And I consider myself, very in the middle. I was never a fan of Trump prior to politics. I mean, yeah, did I watch The Apprentice? Okay, yeah, it was a show, but I never.
I keep hearing that too. People are saying Trump wasn't racist until he got into office. Nobody hated Trump until he got into office. I'm like,
he was always the same arrogant SOB.
He's not a likable
right now. No, I mean, again, you've seen Trump Towers and stuff. When you see a lot of gold in your name on everything, it's like you're like, okay, this is a little bit too much. And ever since he went down those golden escalators, I'm like, this is not real. This is not, because I'm a big judge of character, when it comes to elected officials. And it's just like, okay, nothing has said positive from this individual. And what he's done now is start this whole MAGA movement that has continued to really hurt the Republican Party. And I guess that kind of leads me to my next question is, at a young age, I mean, you have shared that you were the youngest ever to run for Congress in the state of Georgia. I'm curious, what made you, what was the thought process? What made you want to run for Congress? And if it's okay, if I can ask, why Congress and not, say, kind of get your feet wet on a local level, from whether it was school board, council, I'm just curious, state rep.
Yeah. There's a few different things. One, I've been providing political commentary for over a year, and just like really putting a lot of work and deep dives into understanding what's going on and seeing what's going on.
Mm.
That was one thing. Second thing, Tori Branham ran for the same district I did, but she is ICE on the Hyundai plant and got a lot of Korean nationals. I don't even want to use the words deported because they weren't moving. They were only here to help train for jobs in rural Georgia that absolutely needed them. That's it. They weren't here to move. They weren't, that's it. And so I said to myself, I just had a moment of realization. If someone with that much vitriol and hate and dislike in her heart can make an impact, imagine what someone like me could do who wants to help people, see people do well, regardless of what side of the aisle we fall on. Everyone should be able to achieve what they need to achieve to take care of themselves. And so that 30 seconds of insane courage, I shot a message out to my followers like, if I do this, will y'all support? I got 80,000 yeses. So, all right, go for it. And I went for a federal seat. I wanted a federal seat. No other reason than that. No other reason at all.
Okay.
I like to, if I'm gonna go, I go.
You said I'm gonna do it. I mean, why not? But
Hey,
honestly
already.
though, exactly, and I feel as though it's extremely important because I share a lot on this show. Just my take, and you could say it's just frustrating when I do see that you look at Congress, you look at Senate, and you're like, this is not normal when we see folks on average of 85 to 90 something. I mean, folks dying while serving, in office. It's just, I mean, literally we're in a cycle now where folks are like saying, where's Mitch at? Where's Mitch McConnell? Where is he at? People say, and it's just like he's not the first one. It's been so many. I think this past year Congress has lost due to a passing 5 people. Well, 6 if you include Senate as well. But it's just, I feel like it's unfair for voters because you have a lot of folks that are continuing to pursue re-elections at 80 years old. There was a gentleman, but actually I want to say he might have been in Georgia.
I mean, the incumbent that I'm against, Rick Allen, I went up against, it's 74 this year. Are you talking about the black representative that had to be wheelchaired in to
Yes,
qualify?
Mr. Last name Scott.
Yes, and he passed away, what, 3 weeks later?
And to me, it was already a red flag seeing somebody get wheeled in the turn in their, and it's like, is anybody
We
going to
need
say something
age
about
limits
this?
and term limits. Honestly, I think what would help both of those things simultaneously, the terms for Congress are actually really short. And so what happens, you only have 2 years. So you get elected, you spend 1 year campaigning, 1 year working, 1 year campaigning, 1 year working. So it's either, I mean, honestly, I think like a 4-year term would make so much more sense with term limits and age limits. I know people don't like that, but
I think it's a great, well, as you mentioned, I mean, 2-year terms for Congress, 4 terms, that's 8 total years. Now, when it comes to U.S. Senate, they serve in 6 years. So, like, for example, like here in Virginia, we have an incumbent, Senator Mark Warner, who will be running. He's running for his 4th term as a senator. So it's like you think of the years adding up, and he's 71 right now, and it's like, I mean, it's a little bit. It's kind of again, it's a turnoff because you hear these elected officials saying, "I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this," and that could be, but it's also like, okay, why not be of a mentor to the next up and coming? If it's so much of, go ahead, Bri.
there's a disconnect though. Like it doesn't matter how well intentioned you have it in your heart. If like for district I ran, for example, great example, average age of constituent is 30 years old. Your representative is 75. Like no matter
It don't make sense.
it does not matter. There is going to be some kind of general effect. I was in the excuse me, in the what do you do? Oh my cat. just scared me so bad. All I heard was the door going crick, crick, crick. I was like, what is that? Ma'am. My heart almost stopped.
Hey, look, we about to have a first right here. I'm like, oh my goodness, is she okay? Is she okay?
It's a ghost. So I was in the post office the other day and just getting some ready. An older woman walks in behind me. She's got a Trump keeps America great hat on. I'm just like, man, it's not even. So she is in line. She's just making small talk with the guy checking her out, and he's also an older gentleman. And she starts talking about her grandson and how only thing he wants to do is climb rocks. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to do this. That's what's wrong with these kids today. They haven't figured out. They just have to work. And I'm like, this is the disconnect. This is the disconnect. This is the disconnect. This is the disconnect.
It is.
So you literally broke it for us. Like, no, people aren't working because they don't get the same out of it like they used to. That's why so many people have fallen to gig work.
You're absolutely right, and it comes to so many things, right? Where affordability. You're seeing an age drop when it comes to first time home buyers because houses are expensive, and it's like, okay, back then when my grandparents bought it, it was it was very, very cheap, and now it's like today it's like the average. Now I can't think of the world average, but I can at least speak just here in my home city. Average home is, or at least median is like 410 grand. Now that might be literally it's insane, and it's like nobody is gonna. They don't have those kind of funds. Not just that, but when it comes to here's another one I get tired of hearing. People are not producing anymore. We need more children. Have some more kids. I'm like, excuse me. My wife and I, we don't have. We have one dog, and let me tell you something. That dog got health insurance. That dog's locked. Okay, and so I'm like,
I have a dog and a cat. That's it. I cannot conceptualize. I know I have a zoo. I cannot conceptualize a child. First of all, under this administration, in this economy. Oh my gosh, I am so okay on that. But you're right. The ability issue and that's not what people are aspiring to. The new American dream is
very much so. Very much so.
The white picket fence and 2.5 kids. That's an ideal that's way out of the window.
Isn't it? Look. I haven't seen a white picket fence in forever. I see wrought iron. I see. I don't even see white picket
on
fence
the window.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, what are those? What are we doing here? I want to talk about social media. So social media following, you have a massive following on social media, and your videos often generate passionate debates, as we spoke about earlier. Do you think social media has become more influential than, say, your traditional news as well as traditional political campaigns?
Yes. Social media it completely changed the scope of what I was doing. And it is so interesting the amount of reach that one can get. And my niche is breaking down white supremacy and teaching Black history. And depending on whose algorithm it gets thrown on, it goes well or goes gnarly. If it gets on MAGA talk, I don't know, man. But it is, for the most part, it's been received so well. When we're talking about news in particular, I have had so many opportunities to break stories that nobody else is talking about. That news stories that you only see overseas, right? There's a case of a Black lesbian couple who were, I believe they were in somewhere in Virginia, were literally chased down the road by white supremacists and beat up. And the only place that was reporting it was Canada. Wow. And so I brought it to TikTok, went super viral. Those ladies are now on my schedule. I'm going to do a kind of expose interview with them. And I think it's so important that we recognize that the news is a little bit archaic because the social media is pops up like that. You get it like that. They don't have to call a news anchor in to go get ready and sit at a desk in front of all the lights, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can literally break a news story from my bed. And so when we talk about politics and running for office, that completely changed the scope for me being a content creator. It was interesting seeing comments from, people who support my opponents or on the other side. People just like her because she's a social media person. I'm like, maybe that's the case. But either way, it's been such a good tool, and I've been able to help other candidates use it as the good tool that it is for fundraising attention. I had a thing where I wasn't really interested in knocking doors, asking for money. No, ain't nobody got no money. So what's the point? Like, that's just where we are. And I just, money in politics is already weird.
Yeah.
I looked at my campaign manager. I said, what if we did something different? What if I only asked for social media money? Like, that's it. She was like, well, you could try. Okay. So across 3-4 videos, I raised almost $40,000. Just 3 videos.
Wow.
I did not knock a single for money. I didn't take a single pack, anything, no foreign interest money whatsoever. Just straight up raw money from people across the country wanting to support.
Do you think, and not trying to, for you to give off too many of your secrets, but was it the messaging that was being put out on your social media that gravitated to those that, because for me, I speak on, I try to share that one of the biggest disconnects with just community and government, whether if it's local, state, or federal, is the transparency, is the fact that folks don't believe, like, okay, you can promote yourself as a candidate 24/7, but are you truly genuine if you are elected, right? Because when you're elected, you disappear, and then when it's time to re-election, they reappear. And folks are like, I'm tired. Like, you don't do as much engagement while you're in your term, whether that's a town hall or a sit down. Like, where is the transparency? And so when you have a lot of frustrated voters and constituents, like, if you backtrack when there was a period when Republican members of the House could not hold a town hall because they would get booed out. They're like, no, ain't nobody want to hear that. They were getting booed out, and they're like, and some just say, I ain't gonna have it. No, I'm not even gonna do it. I know here in Virginia, so my district is the second congressional district of Virginia, who's currently held by Jane Kiggins. And so say it one more time, Bri.
But do you know who your candidate is?
So my candidate, so we have a primary. So we have Elaine Loria, who is a return, she's a former member of Congress who served in District 2. You have Dr. Neela Defeneth, who's also been on the show before. Bill Fleming, and oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the there's a fourth person. I apologize if I'm blanking on his name, but it's a four person primary in the Democratic side. Incumbent Republican Jen Kiggins is the nominee. So she had a primary, like one person, but that was very short lived. So I bring that up because
I know one from the district. So
okay. Well, look, we gonna talk. We gonna talk after that. I get my people call you people. No, but I say all that because transparency is like nowhere. And so I was just curious the fact that you've raised that much based on a message, based on folks was like saying, nope, I hear you. I trust, I believe she's the right person. I want it, because that's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal where, I mean, come on, I know council races that are raising more money, well more than money than they're getting paid, than their salary is. And I'm like, what's with all this? But it's
people just want to. We have this thing in America. Let me back up a little bit. We have this thing where we pedestal our politicians. Yes, Congress is the title, but that is a service role. That's a job that you do by yourself. It's a job you do for people, right? Like, you have to listen to the people. And so we have this tendency to pedestal our politicians. And when you pedestal somebody, you no longer see them as your equal. So how do you criticize someone you've put on a pedestal? How do you hold someone accountable that you've put on a pedestal?
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that made my run so effective was because people were able to see me. Like, even if you don't see me talking about Congress stuff, you have a year and a half's worth of content on my other page that you can literally watch me talk about damn near anything. You get a feel for my personality. You quite literally see who I am through my digital footprint in a very open, honest way. And when I was actively asking for money, the first one that I did that was very, very popular, and what got me the biggest chunk of money at first, I started off the videos like, have you ever wished that somebody would run for Congress that's everyday average American? Hi, my name is Everyday Average American, and I'm running for Congress. And people ate it up hook, line, and sinker. But the other ones was, I need your help flipping a magazine, and I need it now. It's just like, that's how I talk to people in real life. That's who and I think I just did a good job of showing who I am through that little tiny phone screen, and it worked.
Bri, there's like a new group, I would say, of Democrats that are Democratic candidates that are flipping certain seats. Well, not flipping seats, but they are beating incumbents, longtime incumbents. So you can easily say you have the progressive movement against the establishment, right? You have and you have on the right, you have MAGA against the traditional or the reasonable Republican. But I want to talk primarily on the Democratic side, because you are a member of the Democratic Party. Well, you are a Democrat. You consider yourself a Democrat. And what do you think is the I guess, what is the cause of this huge momentum shift in the Democratic Party, where you have folks who they I wouldn't say they consider, well, someone considers himself a democratic socialist. Someone say, hey, look, I'm progressive. Folks will give them a title that they want to, but there's a new group of candidates that are making a lot of noise, bringing a lot of traction, actually doing great amongst voters. What do you think is a cause of this, like this new shift now?
I hate to say it. I was like sitting here thinking like,
I know that's kind of like, I'm kind of all around the place with my question, but I'm just
no, it's a good question. It's a good question. I'm just like, and like, what angle do I want to hit this at? Honestly, exposure, and guilt from guilt and trying to catch up from the complacency.
So guilt from who? Guilt from
the left. Democrats have been complacent. That's just the honest truth about it. Like you hear a Republican talk, they're gonna cuss you out 6 ways to Sunday and back, and not give a damn about apologizing. They're gonna say in 10 years, they are not gonna budge. Democrats get so caught up in being politically correct, and when they go low, we go high. I'm sorry, when they go low, we're gonna fight crude oil. Okay, that's how it is over here. And so, and I also don't think people thought Obama got elected, we're gonna be good for now. No. Because when Obama got elected, the Republicans were plotting. It was in their school. It was in their sermons from the pulpit, and completely flooded the zone, which is their terminology. We got to flood the zone. And so I think people are subconsciously maybe trying to play catch up, right? Like, oh shoots, we should have paid more attention back then. We should have realized, well, yeah, we still have racism issues. We still have all these other issues that didn't get solved just because a black man was elected as president. Because while we were celebrating and being complacent, they were angry and making sure it never happened again. Donald Trump is they wanted their lick back. That's literally what it is. And so you have people scrambling around trying to do this and plan that. And I honestly think it's, they're trying to play catch up.
And it's funny because going back to Trump, the fact that what they were planning, right? This man's already a 2-term president, and yet he's still petty because he still is jealous of, the fact that Obama was a president. And I'm like, bro, you won. Like, why do you keep every time there's a press conference, and that's not just him, but folks in his administration, Obama wouldn't do that. This is great. You see this plane right here? I got it from Qatar. Wonderful plane. Big plane. Hey, this is a great plane, right? Obama wouldn't get gifts like that. I mean, everything is like, seriously. I mean, change the whole room. I need go. The obsession is disgusting, and the fact of the matter is, people cannot continue to say, "Why do you keep on making this a back?" I'm like, do you see? And it's very pitiful because it's very open when you see the ass kissing. So again, I can go back to the insult. Seriously, you can go back to how he insulted Ted Cruz and his wife, and now he's kissing ass. You have the vice president said he's no different from being a dictator towards Hitler. Now he's I mean, it's so many folks who have shared their stuff, and it's a lot. But going back to, as you mentioned, go ahead, Bri, I'm sorry.
I was just thinking, like, I remember growing up and saying, gosh, I can't believe this coming out of my mouth, Bush on TV, right? I was sitting here imagining like a time where we didn't hear about our politicians every single day in the news, especially the president. The president should not be talking this much.
You miss Bush, don't you? You miss him.
Like,
go ahead.
Like reminiscing on a calmer time. More like
because it was a period where we could always disagree, but it's still we had a form of respect.
Presidential, right?
Yes,
like
yes.
Still going to act presidential.
McCain stopped a woman and said, "No, don't continue your sentence, man. It's not like that is nowhere to be found anymore at this very moment.
Nowhere." And that's exactly what I'm sitting here thinking. Like, it was so nice, and I didn't even realize it as a kid that I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to hear about my politicians every single day on the news. And this is not even like because I do political commentary. It pops up no matter what you do because it's that obnoxious. This man is that obnoxious. He has to be seen, heard, and perceived at every given turn. And in turn, that makes his followers feel like they have to show him in everything that they do. Like I have an Obama t-shirt from his inauguration, but I don't go around wearing it, or I don't have Obama on my hat or anything. Like, your political
you don't have an Obama flag out in your house. You don't have no
I'm messing up, right? I'm messing up.
You're messing up. You slacking.
It's the reality. So even if I never even saw Trump on the news that day, I saw one of his crazy supporters, Trump, decked out in Trump gear. It's like
they couldn't even give you 3 policies that he's passed. That's the thing. It's all entertainment to most folks. It really isn't, because all he is an entertainer. He's literally branding. He will brand watches. He's making money while in office, right? He is he literally has brand ambassador. He got deals. This man got deals.
Trump is such a good person. He doesn't even take a salary from the White House.
I'm more upset that I only have water here because I really wish it was something a little stronger. I can talk about Trump for forever because it's easy, but I do want to. I will say I do criticize the left, primarily the establishment, because I look at strategy, right? They especially obviously the past presidential cycle, they effed up. They're in this rebuilding stage, and I feel as though like the establishment does not listen to what voters speak on. I feel like they don't listen to what it's like, okay, if I'm a business owner, I'm gonna see what is gravitating, what is popular, so that I can be like, okay, this is something I should pursue, rather than just saying, no, let me just continue to do what I think is perfect and ignore what the public is embracing. And there was a story about Biden. He has a memoir coming out after the midterms, and I'm like, oh great. I was like, what is there else? Because I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Biden. I wasn't really crazy about him when he was first running. I was not a fan at all. I wasn't a fan of the fact that this man extended his teasing a re-election when he knowing good and damn well he said he was not. And so it's a big F up. And when I see that, because I think I put out a question on my socials saying, should should the Democratic Party embrace socialism? And not just what socialism mean, but just, again, you have a number of candidates that are doing pretty good in some key districts. Why not embrace that winning strategy? And instead of having a disconnect, because if you're not on one accord, then most likely you're gonna lose. Like, one thing you can give the Republicans credit, they're gonna do everything for that dub. They're gonna do all they can to win. When they have when they have somebody that is outspoken, what happens? They get out primary and they get voted out. Thomas Massey, Bill Cassidy, a senator out of Louisiana. Well, Marjorie just left on her own, but
did you see that she create an alternative party? I knew it.
Her and Tucker. So, well, Tucker brought it up. I think so. It's true that she's trying to start like her own, like, oh God, okay, whatever. I knew she
was going to try to do this last year. When I saw her start making those little comments, making those moves, I said she is going to try to rebrand and repivot her whole thing. But it was so crazy because in the midst of her trying to go back on her words and to apologize for the harm she caused, if you go to her congressional office, I don't know if it's still there, but it was there as of December and one time too. She had a big old sign talking about listen to the science, and it's about gender. It's just bigoted, just homophobic and transphobic stuff. But meanwhile, she's on the news talking about, please forgive me. For what?
She's a part of the problem. She was one of the founding fathers of the divisiveness in MAGA. It was her. Obviously, Trump is the founding, but you had him. I mean, you had her. You had Matt Gaetz, who thank God is no longer in office. But you also, hell, I even throw Byron Donald's ass in there, because Byron Donald as well. Tim Scott is kind of like, what, I don't know how to describe Tim. Like, he tried to be a part of Cool Crew. Never got that opportunity. Never made the team.
It just didn't work.
It's a lost cause. He's like, well, I guess I'll just run for re-election in South Carolina and I'll just stay right there. I mean, he is. I mean, even when he ran for president, oh my gosh, it was so toilet tissue, bro.
Can't even hang out with the degenerate.
Hey, the only time I will say I've given credit to Tim Scott, though, was when Trump had the ape video, because Tim Scott actually spoke against and said, no, it's very, disheartening, and this is a very offensive and it should be taken down. I appreciate that. Now, you had the other, you had like Wesley Hunt out of Texas was saying, oh, it's not what ape, man. It's not this. That's that. And it's just like, what is happening, y'all? I mean, at least, like, look, I'm all about representation on both sides, right? Yeah. I'm like, hey, look, you need black Republicans, you need black Democrats, you need representation all around, but do not say, okay, when it's time to talk about race, don't ease off of it. Like, be honest. Like, stop saying it's not about race for me. I'm voting on the American. I'm voting on the good American.
This is America. Everything we do is rooted in race. Every single thing we do. Even the way we eat three times a day. Historically, Native, Indigenous, African people eat 2-3 o'clock, intermittent fasting, right? But transatlantic slave trade, European work standards, you eat before you go to work, you get a break, and then you eat at dinner. So even the way we consume food is like, I mean,
I consume a lot of food. That's I ain't gonna lie. That's why I got some stretchy pants right now. I eat a lot of food.
Capital and our workforce and slavery are still so intertwined. We ask each other what fields we work in. A lot of these fields require master's degrees. It's rooted in everything we do. That's why they stopped calling the master bedroom.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Or again, I was sharing earlier that I was a private school kid. We used to, our head of schools used to be called headmaster, but they changed that title due to just as you mentioned. So I mean, it's to me, I look at it as growth, because it's like, okay, think of Florida, right? Florida removing African American studies in schools. They keep on saying book banning, and look,
the last thing Florida needs to do is ban any literature. They already struggle.
God dang, God dang. For my Florida listeners, look, you know, it's not everybody, but she's just saying the stats. She know about the stats. The stats say it's not good.
Stats a little low.
Stats a little low. Stats a little low. Bri, and look, I'm having so much fun with you, and I don't want to keep you up for forever, but I want to speak on kind of like to digress from this topic of the social media piece, though. Like, how important is social media, especially for those who are, as I mentioned, kind of like foreign of politics, meaning like, you know, they're not too knowledgeable when it comes to government, local, state, and federal. Like, how important is social media, at least for, you know, for the public to get that knowledge? Because if they're, you know, we have a lot of young people like, huh, what? I mean, when I say young, I mean like way past the voting age, and some older folks as well, because it's just you're either raised to say, hey, look, you're always gonna vote with a D in front of the name or R in front of the name, and that's just how it's gonna be. And no, don't ask questions, just make sure you go out there and vote. So how important is social media playing a role now in this political, you know, I guess political society we got?
So a few different ways. Like, obviously you have your traditional I make about politics, keep you in the loop, keep you updated. I always tell people, find the content creators that have good reputation, post consistently, you'll be fine. The second thing I think is probably one of the most underrated, powerful tools ever, and that is a TikTok Live. TikTok Live debate panels are genius. It's literally how I got started. I used to sit on panels and debate for hours. And I go on the debate panels, like I'm featured on debate panels where we bring up our sources. We have to find the right source for it if we're going to back it up, if we're going to talk about it. We will be fact checked. I have learned so much. Like, even if I don't get up on a panel, I'll go to a live, put my earbuds in, and just learn, hear different perspectives, listen to MAGA people, listen to white supremacists don't come up sometimes. And it is such a good tool for getting real-time information. Just always double check your and seeing the perspectives of other people opposite of you. That is probably one of the most powerful things that I did for myself, because now I opened the Deconstruction Institute and I know exactly what it is that I'm gearing towards and talking to, because I have spent the better part of a year and a half doing my straight up research by listening.
Wow. And I love that, because for me, again, I consider myself in the middle. I vote on person, not party. That's just how I roll. But being an independent, for me, I love talking with folks that I don't agree with. I won't say don't agree with, but I love hearing different perspectives. I won't say that.
No,
I love hearing. I love. It is, and it's so funny because folks get on me and like saying, "How do you do it?" Like, I'm a news buff. I love watching it. I'll read different sources. I enjoy it, and so yeah, I'm gonna put on. I'll just speak. I'll put on MS Now, and then the following hour, or the following day, I might put on some Newsmax. I might put on, you know, Fox Today. I might put on CNN. I might put on MS. I might put on some Midas Touch. I'm listening to every platform, TYT, you name it, Daily Wire. I want to hear everyone's perspective. I want to see exactly, okay, why do they think that? Why does that person have? Give me a reason. Don't just give me a headline of an opinion. Give me a substance. Give me like details of like, why the hell do you think this is sharp? And so, and I just, it's very important. And as you mentioned, right, you talk on your social media, on your platform, about, you know, things that might make folks feel uncomfortable, but it's reality, and folks should not run away from reality. This is just, I'm just keeping it 100, right?
The history that you are consuming only makes you feel good. My love, that is not history. That is propaganda and a fairy tale. Point blank, period. A fact is a fact. Like, and I think that's why my content is received as well as it is, for as heavy as it is. I make a point not to like interject my personal stories or emotions or feelings into it. I say, hey, these are not my opinions. These are facts. You can look them up for yourselves. Before any history video starts, it's exactly what I say. And then you can go in my link tree, and I have sources, multiple sources for every single history video, because I don't play that. Like, you're not about to tell me I'm making this up. But that's, again, That's how you find information that you didn't even think you could find. Find the content
Yeah.
creators. Just, like, we are in the age of anti-intellectualism.
Mm.
In a heartbeat. Oh, you don't need to read that. You don't need to listen to that. That's stupid. It's like, I have this sign right here. My grandmother kept this in her house. It says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Woo! Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma. Wow. Okay, that needs to be on a t-shirt for sure.
Right?
That is very powerful. No, but it's powerful though, because look, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Mhm.
That's one of the biggest things that you can have is knowledge, and to not
Which is why
be in the
education
know.
is accurate. Because
And
if we
now-
don't know how to recognize white supremacy, how do we keep calling it out?
And look, you see so many folks, or you see an administration now that's trying to erase so much things that is related towards growth or Black excellence. Yet they're questioning, why am I being criticized? Why am I being called this?
Because
Why am I being called?
Anti-American and focuses too much on the bad things America did. What did I just say? That's propaganda and fairy tales. Point blank, period.
I don't want this to be shown because I don't want my kids to feel bad. First of all, your kids weren't during that period. That's another one that gets me. I'm like, your kids wasn't there.
I would, a white man said something racist to me. That was okay, and your kid can't even read about it in a textbook.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's
Them
crazy.
kids will be fine.
The Deconstruction Institute that you recently created. Who was the primary audience? Like, what is the audience that is catered for? I wouldn't say catered, but really, put out.
So how that even came to be is, again, organizing in these spaces, because I don't believe in just content creating. I believe we got to get outside, get on the ground, and put your money where your mouth is. So that's what I have also been doing. But I've also noticed that there have been a lot of unintentional harmful actions by organizations that are leftist and progressive. And because the truth of the matter is, racism is not limited to Republican or right-leaning or conservative.
Speak on it.
So if there's white people around, the chances of something happening that are racist, intentional or not, pretty high. And my bachelor's is in HR. So, regular orgs like Walmart will have somebody come in and teach diversity training, right? Or teach sexual assault in the workplace. I said, well, why don't progressive and leftist organizations have someone come in and teach deconstruction? Because they are actively harming the communities that they say they want to help. And so that is how that happened. But I also do individual coaching if you are interested in deconstructing, just having breakthroughs. Because if you're white in America, you were literally born right into propaganda, and it takes a lot of room to do that, to deconstruct it.
I wanted to briefly, because I'm having so much fun, and I thank you for taking the time out your schedule, Bri. You have spoken openly about overcoming addiction, trauma, rebuilding your life. How have those experiences shaped the way you view public service?
It completely changes the way I view public service, especially now because by trade, actually, I'm a substance use therapist now. So I help people who are once in the same position that I was in. And so much of it is a failure of the system. So much of it is a failure of the system. And so when I think of about those individuals, those situations, myself, and then in a role of Congress, which again, service role, one of my main aspects, my main concerns is health. Access to mental health care, access to substance use treatment. I also work with the American Counseling Association, counselor. So man, it's like I lay down at night, I'm like,
I love it.
I'm like, oh yeah, because you do everything. But last year I got to go to ACA Hill Day, where we went to Capitol Hill and congressional offices and advocated for mental health policy. Thankfully, surprisingly enough, mental health policy is one of the last few things remaining on the Hill that is truly bipartisan. People genuinely want people to get better. However, the Trump administration just recently put a pause, on parity law And parity law forces your insurance company to treat mental health and physical health along the same lines.
Mm-hmm.
Trump administration paused that. So a lot of people are actually losing coverage, losing services for mental health, for substance use.
Wow.
And that's one of the things I directly want to impact. We can't be good anything, Republican, Democrat. We can't be the best of anything if our mental health is poor.
Why do you think, and you mentioned one failure because you just mentioned that they paused where folks are losing that coverage to seek help, but like even before I would say the Trump administration, right, this was still going on. So why what are some of the big failures that you can think of or add on to what you just spoke on that the system has failed the community?
Well, Biden and VP Harris actually put in a bunch of parity laws, and that's why he stopped them, because he don't want them to have anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Who did this? Biden? No. No. Obama? Hell no. Screw that. Put my name on it.
It's mine. So even before that, exactly as you said, we have issues about healthcare in this country. It's a whole systemic failure. We are way too developed of a country for us to struggle this much for healthcare. Like it's by design, because people are in their pockets. But make no bones about it, we are way too successful, way too wealthy of a country to do this. Like I could go to China right now and go to the doctor. $50 will get me seen by the doctor and all my medications and all my scans and everything. No insurance required. Here, that'll run you $35,000. It's like, no wonder people are unaliving. No wonder people are saying, screw it, I'll just take the risk.
It's disgusting. I have a close friend who had a he's a retired veteran, and he was going to have just a simple shot in his hip. Nothing serious, a shot in his hip. The shot ended up it caused an infection in his hip where he had to have an emergency surgery. He was in the hospital for a number of days. That medical bill had grown to a little over 200 grand. Fortunate enough, being that he was a vet and he was in there for some years, it is being coverage, but it's still imagine if he did not. Imagine if he did not. I mean, healthcare is one of the number of the leading cause of homeless. People live on the street because, hey, I couldn't afford this, so I'm like, I had to pay off medical debts. I'm poor. I don't have a home. I don't have a roof, and it's very unfortunate. And like you were saying, it's just we're the wealthiest country in the world. So we are people told.
A good chunk of our hospitals have on their website in the very, very fine print that they're non-for-profit. So if you get billed by a hospital that's not for profit, email them back and ask them, why are you billing me if you're not for profit? Suddenly the bill disappears. Ask me how I know.
See, y'all, this is why I was so excited to have Bri. I feel, first of all, I feel like you're fam. I feel like I talk to you forever. I feel like I'm at like the family cookout. I'm like, let's sit and talk. Okay, so what about this? What about that? Because I'm not only just having fun, Bri, but I'm learning. And this is what I always love about these. This is what I always love about these conversations that I do have with folks, and especially bringing on the show, because I learned something. I'm still a student, in this game. I'm in this field, right? In this world called life. I'm still a student. I'm still learning. So I appreciate folks like yourself, again, taking the time coming here on the show. And you have another. I want to talk really briefly before we let you go. The 1,000 miles to Memphis march. Now, you mentioned this on your platform, and I've seen this happening, been going on a while on social media. If you don't mind, sharing with our audience the 1,000 miles to Memphis march, and what is the what is this?
Yes, so 1,000 miles to Memphis is a 36-day solidarity march. We've decided to kind of take inspiration back from the activists of before us. Enough of no kings, all right? Like enough. So we are going to walk 1,000 miles across the South with the goal of registering 100,000 voters and raising $1 million for Southern organizations on the ground. I work under the Good Work Collective, which is a nonprofit doing the good work and supporting things like this. I am the director of operations and community partnerships. Super, super, super excited to hit the road for almost 40 days next week. But yeah, documenting everything along the way. So yeah, follow me, follow the merch, and see how we're doing. It's gonna be a long Thursday.
Look, I'm over here thinking, I'm like, so what are going to be the shoes of choice? Have you tested out the right shoes that you're going to be doing there?
I'm bringing whatever shoes I'd like because I am driving. So I'm part of the advanced team, so I'm going to be getting to locations at least 2, sometimes 3 days earlier than everybody else to make sure that it's set up properly with venues and things like that. So I might end of it when we like come back down. I don't know, we'll see.
Hey, Bri said, "Hey, sign me up for this one because which one do I? Okay, that one right there. I can drive. Okay, one.
Okay,
I know that's right. Bri is working. Hey, we got these bills we got to pay. But y'all, look, for those who are watching, I provided the site there 1,000. Oh, what are you gonna say, Bri?
I said, don't tell them I'm a paid protester now.
Look, your secret is safe with us. I'm tired. Your secret is safe with us. Don't worry, no worries at all. Again, that is called 1,000milestoMemphis.com if you want to learn more about us for a great cause. I put up the site for those who are watching, for those who are listening. Again, 1,000 miles to Memphis. 1,000milestoMemphis.com. Bri Woodson, I truly appreciate it, my friend. If you don't mind, I would love to chop it with you just for a couple seconds after this show. But I truly appreciate it. How can folks continue to follow you and all the great stuff that you're doing in the community and just across this digital space?
Yeah, always you can find me under Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky. I even Xiao Hongshu, Red Note. Everything is The Controversial Blonde. If you are particularly though looking for congressional content, you can find me under Bri Woodson for GA. Bri Woodson for GA.
Awesome. We thank you, Bri. Please don't be a stranger. Again, we got it's so much stuff that appears on our news cycle, and I'm like, I gotta talk with the experts, and I'm like, okay, I gotta hit up Bri. But we truly thank you.
On purpose, they do flooding the zone. They want us to be confused. That's why.
I'm telling you. We thank you, and again,
thank you so much.
Best of luck on all the great success that you're doing and all the great stuff you're doing in the community. Fam, I hope you enjoyed yet another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, I told you were going to be in for a treat for a great conversation, and I wish we could talk for hours and hours, but again, I don't want to keep our guests for too long. But I hope you learned something, and I hope you continue to follow the great work that Miss Bri Woodson is doing. Again, The Controversial Blonde, that is on all social media handles. The Controversial Blonde. Follow. Until next time, my friends, peace and blessings. Stay safe, stay informed, and I will talk to you for another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.